What's going on? It's Mo Sticky Pads back at you with another video. This video is a story time. This video is a disclaimer. If you are independently or if you work for a company, know that your integrity is very important, and always preparing is important. Now, as a pest technician, we all know that we get into some rural areas where there is no public restrooms. And then there's cases where we just take advantage of our environment, and sometimes it will catch up with you. And that's the thesis of this story. So I just want to tell you the story time of when I had used the restroom really bad, and I took advantage of an opportunity that caught up with me. So I was in these apartments. Now, I must say that when you are a pest technician, you're doing apartments, you could be the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 15th pest technician that have ran these routes before you. So some pest technicians have a bad reputation, and the the apartment, the office of the apartments, um, they are very keen. They're not keen, but they're very skeptical about if this other person can fulfill the job as the other pest technician or pest technicians in the past. So this apartment was just pretty much like that. Now, as I state again, this is the disclaimer that this is a story time. After this, several years later, I have not done this, and I just do what I have to do at any location. So that's just the forefront. I admit I was wrong. I needed accountability. I needed counseling, and I took that and did not do it again. So I have to just store that again. This is for humorous purposes only, and my integrity has stood tall ever since then. So, once again, so I'm in these apartments, and I think I've been in these apartments for about, give it a year now. And in apartments, normally what happens if you don't know about apartments is you go to the office and you basically make yourself known. They will give you an assignment of phone calls that they received about any pest issues, and they have a number. So when they make the contract for a pest control company to do these apartments, there's an agreement that says, okay, we will do 30 apartments per visit. That could be every week, that could be every 2 weeks, but there is an assignment. You have to fulfill these numbers per week, and that means that um, they're going to find a way. There's not a such case where it's only 10, but they had, like, let's say five that either need to move in or they gutting out. So that means someone was previously living there, and the resident moved out, and they need to have it always to treat for pest control. So I believe it was towards the end of the day, and they had a unit that they wanted me to do that was on the list. So this unit was a vacant unit. And so I normally leave the vacant units for last because why? There's no resident waiting for me. I can do it at my own time. And generally, you're just doing a general treatment. And if you see something, then you treat it, the issue. This case was a renovated unit. This was a brand new unit, renovated, new carpet, and it was the last one. They gave me a vacant key, which is the vacant key is for any OO units that are vacant. And so I went to this unit. It was the last unit. Now, mind you, for the past 2 hours, I had to use the restroom very bad, very, very bad. And I don't mean to urinate, I mean the other one. And so I had to go so bad. And and also to remind you that when you're doing units, that may not be the only stop you have. I have the vacant unit key, and so I treat the vacant unit. I'm like, okay, I have to really use the bathroom. I'm going to use this key here. This is another mistake. I had I had paper towel tissue split in half. This is a live and learn experience. So I used the restroom. I had to go really bad. And so I used the toilet and I had this paper towel. As you would think, as a pest technician, I should have my own toilet paper, but not at this moment. I used the restroom, did what I had to do, and so it was a jam. Jam, oh, jam, jam, please don't jam for me. It was a jam like no other. So I was doing the best of my ability, doing my darnest to take this out. I'm using branch sticks. I think I've even used, I don't know what I use. I use so many things and I just cannot get this thing cleared out. I'm sweating bullets. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. Now, you can't be a kid and just leave because there's only two people, actually three people that can be in this unit. This can be the apartment manager, this can be maintenance, and it can be me. So you can't just leave it because they're going to know it's you and it's going to make matters worse. So I'm trying this thing, I'm trying this thing, I'm trying this thing. And so I had to give up and I had to let loose and tell it to maintenance. So I'm running down on maintenance, running down on them, running down on them because it is towards the end of my shift. And I think it was like 4 o'clock or 4:30. I run down on a guy. I'm like, hey, do you happen to have a stopper or something? I want to fix myself the toilet. It is messed up. So he said, yeah, I'll have somebody over there. I said, have someone over there, but let me use the stopper. Bet. So I was away, so I got out, locked the key, locked the door. And when I made this announcement, I locked the door. I didn't mention that, but I locked the door and I went to drive to look for maintenance. And he said, bet, okay. So then I drive back over there, hopefully that no one got there before I did. Well, beknownst to me, there was already a gentleman over there. I was so embarrassed and so nervous because this is the childish thing that one can ever do, and the most embarrassing thing that one can ever do. This gentleman came through. I wish I had $100. I wish I had $1,100. I wish I had $2,000. The look you seen on my face is the way I look at you right now. I said, hey man, I'm sorry. That's all I said. Hey man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I deeply apologize. I think I've said everything to please this gentleman because I was so embarrassed. I'm a very humble person. And when I do something wrong, I admit that I'm wrong, especially when you're in the most uncomfortable scenario that one can have. I said, I deeply apologize, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was trying my best to tell him, please don't tell management because people talk. Maintenance are in maintenance offices. If they have nothing to do, they gossip. So I wanted so bad to tell him, please don't tell no one. please don't tell management. I don't want to lose my job over something so idiotic and asinine. I just said thank you, and thank you. I should have, if I wish I had money to pay him off. So a week went by. I found out that he told because when I went there the following week to get the sheet of the assignment, she said, hey, if you have to use the restroom, use ours. That means the management office. I wasn't about to use their management office, even if I had to. I just took precautions. But the fact is that she looked into my eyes and I had to look at hers and I felt so bad. Said I had to walk with my head down, keep that thing moving and grooving. If I ever had a partner, I would say, hey, you turn in the keys, you turn in the sheet, I'll meet you outside. But wins and losses, baby. That's what it is. Again, that was something. All people make mistakes. I made that stupid, idiotic mistake. I wish Mo would have talked to Sticky Pads and said, you fool, and would have shaken my hand like this and said, you idiot. Mind you, there's no excuses. It wasn't a rural area. There were other areas that were available. I think the reason why I didn't do it is because when you go into restaurants, you have to buy something. And I didn't think I had cash at the time. But in any event, years later, I learned from that experience and I've always carried things with precaution. So that's all I have for this. Thank you for letting me share my story. An embarrassing story, but it's something that a pest technician and an independent technician could take this information and run with it. And don't be as dumb as me. Have a great day. Much love. God bless. Pest technicians, I love y'all and pray for y'all. Drive safely.